super awesome guest. I am so excited. I know I've kind of mentioned that she might be on at some point, and everybody on the team, dude, was so pumped. So I appreciate you taking the time, Morgan. You're the best.
I'm so excited. Thank you for asking me.
You're welcome. And so you guys, like, get your notepads out, get your pen and paper, whatever you got, because she is thebomb.com. And so I'm going to let her just kind of take the floor. So Morgan, like, how old are you? How long have you been in? What rank are you? And then just tell us your story.
Okay, so like she said, I'm Morgan, and I'm 23 years old. I've been with It Work since October 2014. I'm a triple diamond, and I joined this business whenever I was 20. So I was a college student, but I just started going to school, like literally, I think like a week before I started. I was a customer first, and I found out about the products, which was the wrap, through Instagram. And I just saw this girl that I like didn't really know. Like, we had met like once, and we had like, her cousin was in my youth group or something. So she wasn't really a friend, but I kind of knew who she was enough to be like, who is this? Like, what is she talking about? And at the time, I was going through a lot of like health issues, and I was actually diagnosed with a heart condition. And that was in March of 2014. In and out of the hospital, like very, very sick. And not a lot of people know about that. But like, I mean, just being tested for all these different things, like, I mean, they thought I had like leukemia, pancreatic cancer, like all this stuff. And I never could exercise or work out. And I got to be my heaviest during that time because I just wasn't able to do anything. Like, I could barely like keep myself alive, much less work out. So I was feeling very, very self-conscious about myself. So whenever I saw her posting about the wrap before and after pictures, I was like, I'd literally cry if that happened to me. And I was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, this is stupid. That doesn't work. And then the second time I was like, what in the heck is she talking about? Like, why does she keep posting about this? And then, because I thought the first one was just like her weight loss. So then she kept talking about it. I was like, what is this? So after seeing them multiple times, so that just shows you like it doesn't just take one post, like you have to keep posting and being consistent. If she had only posted once and I only saw that one picture, I would have never even asked. I never would have thought twice about it. I never would have reached out to her. But she kept posting, and she was super consistent. I was a nanny, so I actually was scrolling through during the kids' nap time. So broke, was not making enough money at all. Loved being a nanny, but just wasn't making the income that I needed to be able to live on my own. So I reached out to her, and I was like, what are these products, whatever. Didn't have the money, but I ordered them anyways, just because, like I said, I was just so self-conscious. And tried the first wrap, did it wrong. We won't get into all that. That's a really funny story. I'll tell you later, Kim. But then the second one, I had okay results, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So I was really skeptical still, but we say 1 wrap's a treat, 4 is a full treatment. So I did the third wrap, and on that third wrap, I literally looked in the mirror, compared my before and after pictures, because that's really important too. And I cried because of how confident I felt for the first time in such a long time. And I didn't dread looking at myself in the mirror. So I believed in the products. Like I said, I was a customer, so I tried 2 other products. I was blown away by those results too. And I don't remember how, I think, her name's Savannah. I think Savannah reached out to me and was like, hey, how are you loving your products or something like that? And I was like, they're awesome. Like, they really work like really well. And she didn't even really ask me about becoming a distributor, but I think that I asked her, like, how do you make money with this? Because she was an emerald at the time. She's a triple now, but she was an emerald. And I remember thinking, she makes as much money as I do as a nanny, and I work 40 hours a week with 3 crazy chillins, and which I love dearly. But I was just like, how is she making that much money posting on Instagram? Because I post on Instagram too, and I don't make jack squat for it. So how is she doing this? And she was in school, so I knew that she was kind of similar to me. And so she was just doing all these things, and I was like, how are you making money with this? So we talked about the opportunity. I told her I would think about it, because I was so scared that I would not be able to make any money with this business. I ended up joining, but only for $100 a month, and I literally did not think that that would be possible. My mom was involved with the company before, and she did really well with it, but she still ended up paying it more into the company than she made out of it. She had to keep inventory on hand. So those were all really big fears of mine. and finding out that we have websites, finding out that you can make your money right back with the starter kit with the wraps that are inside of it, really was like, okay, I can just do this. Like, it's fine. Like, I have nothing to lose, and all I have to do is sell 4 wraps, and I won't have, like, failed, you know? And so I got started, and I didn't know what I was doing, and Tiffany, her, always says that she was ignorant.
Oops. Can you guys hear Morgan? No? Okay, so it's not me, it's Morgan. Okay.
Sorry, this is going to happen. I have horrible Wi-Fi.
I was like, wait, is it my computer? No. Okay, so I'm going to pause you since we accidentally got paused. I just want to say real quick, so you guys see, like, your customers can become Morgan McIntyre. So anyway, I just wanted to pause and say that, but keep going.
Okay, so what was the last thing that you heard? I didn't know that y'all were cut out until nobody was blinking anymore, and I was like,
the last thing you were saying was like that you were fearful of having the inventory and.
Okay, so yeah, basically I was just like,
You were talking about Tiffany her.
Yes, Tiffany her.
Hang on, I'm gonna switch
to
my personal hotspot really fast because sometimes that's better. This Wi-Fi in this apartment, I can't choose it. They choose it for me, and it's not great.
What?
So 1 second.
Do they not know what you do?
Yeah. I wanted to go up to the
Clubhouse. Sorry.
It was switching over.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm on my personal hotspot. But yeah, I was like, I wanted to go over to the offices and be like, if you want me to pay my rent this month, you need to fix my Wi-Fi because that's how I pay my rent.
Exactly.
But anyway, so yeah, Tiffany her always says that she is ignorance on fire, and I totally relate to that because I didn't know what a ruby was. I didn't know what a diamond was. You know, we didn't have any bonuses out at the time, but shortly after that, they announced this $10,000 diamond bonus around December. I was like, oh, I'll get that. Like, and I didn't know what that even meant. Like, I literally only knew the steps of success. And I think that really helped me a lot, not knowing very much. I didn't know who Jade Hooper was. I didn't know who Tiffany Her was. I barely even realized that Susan Wade was a big deal. She's my ambassador. I'm in Upline. She was presidential or something at the time. But I didn't even know that she was a big deal. Like, and I think that really helped me out because I wasn't looking at all these people. I wasn't looking at, you know, whoever.
Yep.
Like looking and seeing like, oh, I should not do this anymore. I should just do this instead. Or, you know, Facebook isn't as good as Instagram, so I should do that. Or like, no, I should just do parties. Like I was just doing what I thought I was good at. And I was good at those things. And I wasn't ever trying to be something that I wasn't. So anyways, I was like just doing the steps of success over and over again and ended up on December 31st. So this was New Year's Eve, 2014, like 2 months after I started. I remember sitting at Red Lobster and my, not enroller, but my upline, the girl I was placed under, I was put in a 400 box position because Savannah and I both were very skeptical about how I would do. So apparently, but anyway, so that girl reached out to me and she was like, hey, you're one order away from going executive. And I was like, oh, what's executive? And she was like, are you serious right now? Like, what the heck is wrong with you? And so, anyway, she's like, just get one more customer. So I signed a customer at Red Lobster and went executive that night. Then 2 months later, I was like, well, as soon as I went executive, I was like, I could really do this. Like, this is going to be more than $100 a month. So 2 months later, I went Ruby. Sat at Ruby for a year, almost quit, like legit. Like I told my boyfriend, I was like, I'm just not going to do this anymore. And that was in October. And he was like, yes, you are. And wouldn't let me quit. And I had earned a trip or like the cruise to Mexico that was in November of that year, I think. And I was like, well, I can't quit and then go on the cruise, but I'm going on that cruise, so I guess I'm not quitting, at least before the cruise. So I got on the cruise, and that was my first ever, like, corporate event. And even though it wasn't, like, a training or anything, like, you're just being surrounded by those people. And it's so important to get around people who are in this business, too, and have the same kind of mindset as you, because that was where I changed, like, my perspective, and, like, my whole business changed because of that trip. And I came back. I went into that trip ready to quit, left that trip, and 2 months later, I promoted to Ruby and Emerald, then Emerald and Diamond in the exact same day, and then I earned a $22,000 bonus, quit my job as a waitress, and quit my job as an assistant manager, and came home, and I've been home ever since, but I sat at Diamond for a year, and I was because I like to do that apparently. And I was so discouraged, and I was like, what the heck? Like, you know, a lot of people on my team left. And I think that whenever you go diamond, and this isn't for everybody, but if you are a diamond and you might can relate to this, you have a season of rebuilding before you hit another rank. Like, that's what I did, and that's what a lot of my diamonds have had too, is you go diamond, and you can go diamond on your own, kind of. I did. I went diamond on my own. Like, I literally enrolled every distributor on my diamond chart. I enrolled, safe to say, just about every customer, maybe but 10. And, you know, just I didn't have a team that was working. I didn't have leaders. You know, at that point, you've got a ruby and an emerald. And, like, even though, whatever. Anyway, so a lot of my people on my team quit, and I realized that, crap, like, I can't go double by myself too. Like, I've got to have people on my team who are working with me. And so in that season, a lot of people quit, a lot of people joined, and then those people quit too. And you know, I was just very, very discouraged. And so then went on another cruise to the Bahamas that year, so last year, 2016. Got encouraged again, you know, whatever. Then I went to my very first conference. It actually took me until this year to go to conference. And my story changed after going to conference. So I was sitting at, you know, ruby for a year, diamond for a year. Then I go to conference for the first time. And I mean, I was not even close to being blocked into double anymore. I had been blocked in for double like 4 different times and had to rebuild. And I mean, I was not even close. Like, it wasn't like I was going into conference like, I got double, like, it's in the bag, it's good. Like, no, I was like, holy crap, this is going to take a miracle for me to go double diamond. And I left conference with a fire that I've never had before. And my volume that month, like, literally doubled, not joking, not exaggerating, doubled that month. And then the next month in March, I promoted to double diamond without any, like, you know, boosting, whatever, on the 25th. Like, everything was there in the right places. I had leaders. And then 2 months later, because I was sick of sitting at ranks for a year, 2 months later, all those rubies that were on my double diamond chart all went diamond, and I went triple. And so I've been at triple since May. My boyfriend and I have earned a total of $127,000 in bonuses. I was able to quit, you know, back whenever I went diamond, but I actually got to retire him from his second job because he was working retail too, which not fun, by the way. So he just is a CrossFit coach now just because he loves to, and he's actually the manager at the gym now, and he would never be able to do that because of the hours that it takes if it wasn't for It Works, because he would have to work another job and he just couldn't, you know, spend that much time. And then if it wasn't for It Works, he couldn't just do that either because he would have to have more income. So this really has been able to give us more freedom of time together, and that's really the best part. Like, the money's cool, but I just love being able to spend time with him because we never used to get to do that. So, yeah.
Yeah. I love hearing you talk. I'm sure they're all thinking the same thing. Like, I just love hearing you talk. Comes out very, very beautifully. So I love your story, though. So I wanted to – how to put this into words? How have you said it before? When you first got started, for those of you on here, I mean, we got some new people. We've got people that aren't quite new but haven't hit that next rank yet. And then we have people that have been in for a while. So I want you to talk, if you could, real quick about how you got started. And no, you don't start with this It Works, Saved My Life story. Like, no one starts with that because obviously you have to work to have that story. But what did you do? You talked about, okay, I'm going to make this much more money for gas, wasn't it? And then it was like, now I'm going to make money to pay for school. So for those who think, okay, but you've got this great story, Kim, no wonder you're triple. I didn't start with a story. So, like, can you talk about that a little bit, about what you did?
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of people say that, and what I want to do is just shake them and be like, if you wait to talk about your story until you are an ambassador or a triple diamond and you have a cool story, you're never gonna have a cool story because you're not gonna sign anybody. You know, you have to share your journey. And you know what? If you go and look at any of my social media, you will not see I'm a triple diamond and I make 5 figures a month and I'm a 6-figure income earner and I've earned this many bonuses. Like, I don't say any of that because guess what? Me in 2014 would have looked at that and been like, yeah, right. But if me in 2014 looked at someone's Instagram and saw, oh my gosh, It Works just paid for my gas, I would have been like, what's It Works? Because can it pay for my gas too? Like, I can relate to the small things. So it doesn't matter what rank you're at. Like, it's cool that Sherry Lynn Alcala is building a house that's like a bajillion thousand square feet and takes up half the size of Texas. But at the same time, like, you have to share the small things too, because if she shares just about those big, huge things, which she doesn't, she does a good job, which is why I'm like bringing her up. She doesn't just talk about that. She talks about the freedom of time that she has. She talks about groceries, Jade Hooper. Hello. She makes a gajillion dollars a month, and she talks about how she's so thankful that she gets to have, dinner that's not ramen noodles. Like, just the little things. So you'll see ambassadors talk about big things, but you'll see them more times than not talk about the little things, because that's what people can relate to, and that's the things we're most thankful for, right? Like, it's like the little things. So for a newbie, what you're going to do is the very first time you get Wrap Cash, you're going to take a picture with it and you're going to post it and you're going to, was that compliant? I don't even know if that's compliant. If it's not, don't do it. But if it is.
I've done it so many times, yeah.
I was going to say, I always do, but then I'm always like, I'm not green at all. So I'm like, if I'm saying
no, it's totally compliant. Yeah, they talk about it. Mm-hmm.
So I always used to post with my Wrap Cash, and I still do, but a lot of what I did at the very beginning was a lot of parties, and I don't do that as much anymore, just because things have changed. But I posted with my Wrap Cash every time, and that always got people's attentions. And I was always saying, I made $25 at, my friend's house, and they're like, what the heck? Like, what is she doing? And I would post things. I still do this. Like, It Works is paying for my gas. I literally have a Blitz card in my middle console, because that's the one that I pop out every time I'm going to get my gas. Like, every time, it's like clockwork. I grab my wallet, grab my Blitz card, walk over, and I snapshot I Snapchat a picture, or like post it to my Insta story, or post it to my Facebook and say, thank you, It Works for paying for my gas and helping me not stress out about it. And I remember where I came from and why I joined this business in the first place. So for me, back then, before all that happened, I didn't have all those bonuses before, but I talked about how I was going to do that. So, if you're talking about another goal that I had was to pay for a plane ticket for Christmas, because I live in Michigan now, but I'm from Mississippi and all my family still lives there. So I really wanted to go see my family, and I hadn't seen them since May, which was really hard for me. And I really wanted to be able to go home for Christmas, but I just couldn't afford it. So It Works was going to pay for my plane ticket. And I kept saying that over and over and over again. I was like, I'm so excited that I'll be able to go home and see my family for Christmas, because It Works is paying for my plane ticket to go home. Had it done that yet? No, but I knew that it was going to, and it was crazy because people were watching my story, and so they kept seeing me say, It Works is going to pay for this. It Works is going to pay for this. It Works is going to get my plane ticket. I'm going to go home for Christmas because of this business. And then I did pay for my plane ticket to go home for Christmas. And instead of people just seeing oh, I paid for my plane ticket to go home for Christmas, they'd been like, oh, cool, that's awesome. But they had literally seen me post about that almost every single day. And at that point, they were rooting for me and cheering me on and being like, oh my gosh, this girl's about to pay for a plane ticket. Okay. And some of them probably even were like, she thinks she's going to pay for a plane ticket. Yeah, right. This is a scam. And then they saw me do it, and I proved people wrong, and I proved people that I could do it. And so these people that were cheering me on and rooting for me, they got to see those things. So it's a bigger deal if you talk about it before it even happens, because then it's a bigger deal whenever it does happen and you have people's attention more. Does that make sense?
Oh, heck yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people will be like, well, how can I say that I'm going to get this bonus if I don't even know that that's true? Okay, well, how can you say you're going to graduate college in 2020 if you don't know that that's true? Well, it's because that's the goal that you're working towards. That's what you're working on right now to do. Do you know for sure 100% without a shadow of a doubt that you'll never fail a class, or that nothing with your schedule will get messed up or whatever, so that you can graduate in 2020? No, but that's what you have every expectation or whatever. That's what you're planning to do. So say that and talk about that before it even happens. So that's what I would say to do, is just don't talk about what has happened if you don't have anything yet. Talk about what's going to happen. And don't make anything up. Don't be like, oh my gosh, I earned this huge bonus. Be yourself and be authentic, because people are going to cheer you on and about those little things. It's really crazy how that happens too.
Yep. Yep, I love that because when I first got started, you guys, most of you know, I was so poor. Like we were being evicted. So I didn't talk about the eviction. I talked about, where I was going to go with this company because I was really, really, really skeptical, and I can't believe I said yes to this opportunity. I really can't. But I thank God every day that I did. But I did. I talked about the Wrap Cash. That was huge for me. I used to talk about, oh my gosh, this $25 is going to fill my tank. This $25 just bought formula for Eric. And people were like, you're actually doing this. Like, oh my gosh, you're actually doing this. And so I know in the beginning that was what had people latch on and say, okay, you're actually making money. You're making it daily, weekly, monthly. I want to do this. And I love, Morgan, I've never thought about that. In the beginning of this Zoom, you said something about, how did you put it into words? When I was going diamond, I didn't know of anybody. I didn't even know that like my upline Jen Boyd was a big deal. I didn't know about all the other leaders. So that was like a huge aha for me. I just did what worked for me. I didn't think, oh, I should do Instagram or Facebook. I just wanted to point that out because I thought that was really awesome. And it clicked to me. I'm like, me too. I just did stuff. I just went out and did the things, and I didn't have help. I didn't have an upline for the first 6 months. So I love that. So for you guys on watching now, you might not have this whole holy crap, I just went Ruby or I just got a bonus. Talk about the things that you want and talk about, not only does that, like Kaylee said, speak it into existence, but also it's kind of holding yourself accountable. I know when I put it out there, I know people are watching me and I'm like, okay, I've got to just try my hardest to make this happen because people are watching me. I had a goal of going presidential by the middle of this year and it didn't happen. Do I have people though talking about that? No, I don't. I just set a new goal and I know that people are going to continue to root for me because I'm consistent. And so I love that, Morgan. Thank you. And so
and if y'all want proof that I did that, if you're like, okay, well, she just made that up now that she's already here. No, literally go on my Facebook. I won't be able to add you as a friend, but you can follow me. But go on my Facebook and scroll through my profile pictures. You will see August 2016 diamond, September 2016 diamond. Literally, I have a profile picture for every single month, and that never happened. I even went live, or no, I don't think we had live. I posted a video saying, I'm not going diamond this month, but I'm not quitting either. Mm-hmm. And I shared that with my team, and I was like, I've gone through this. It's so crazy. I've gone through that stuff too. So it's okay that if you claim something and it doesn't happen, nobody's like, did you see that girl?
Exactly.
It's going to happen, and it didn't. People don't care about that much.
They don't. But then you do hit that goal and they're like, oh my gosh, they're excited for you. I've had way more people excited for me than, oh, you didn't do it. I'm checking in on you and you didn't do it. So,
oh, congratulations. But you said you were going to do it last month. So
yeah. So you're a liar. And nope, never has it ever. I was reading a comment. I have literally followed you since before you were Ruby. Yes. Kaylee, my double diamond. She was the one that I talked to you about the other day. She's like, oh my God. When we went on that car ride, you and I, she's like, yeah, I've known her since before she was Ruby. I'm like, oh, okay.
So she's seen me fail firsthand, so she knows. So ask Kaylee.
Right. So she's like, you're not lying. So yeah, she's pretty awesome. So next I want to talk because my team knows, well, I think they do, most of them. I do a lot of in-home parties. I love Facebook. I love Facebook Live. I always say Facebook is kind of my way to get back into people's living rooms. And I love blitzing. So you are the reason I started to kind of get into Instagram. I'm trying more. I'm trying to post more often. I'm trying to message. Morgan, you guys, was the person I was talking about that sent me that, I hate the word script, but it is. She sent me a script of what to send to people. And the first day that I used it, I was mind blown. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is seriously working. So really quick, if you could talk to people, because I don't really do this. Not as well as you, but what is your Instagram thing? Give us your biggest, most amazing Instagram must-do tips.
Okay, so one thing is, and I can show you my profile too, but the major thing is consistency. So I used to do a lot of parties in Facebook too. Because that was more of my warm market. And then because I was in a new area, my warm market ran out like that. So after a month, I was like, I got to reach out to people that I don't know yet. So I didn't know, like I said, we literally had no training. So it was literally feeling my way to figuring out what the heck I'm supposed to be doing. And so I started using Instagram, I don't like to say that there's a right way and a wrong way to do something, but I do like to say there's a good, better, best. Mm-hmm. I was like a little less than good at Instagram on that scale, because it looked like one of those ads that you're like, I cannot believe this girl does it works. That was me at the beginning of my business at my Instagram. And so I was just posting, like, Googling it works and then posting the first thing that came up. And it was just awful, but I didn't know what I was doing. And so I didn't know that I was supposed to add people, didn't know that I had to message people. Like, literally don't know why I didn't know any of that, but it was fine. Mm-hmm. So I, worked it for maybe a couple of weeks, and I didn't have people flocking to my inbox and being like, oh my gosh, like, I want to join your team. And I didn't go diamond in 3 days from that. So I was like, it's not going to do Instagram anymore. So I stopped doing Instagram. And whenever I went on the cruise to Mexico the first year, I was talking to people, and I was like, how are y'all, like, signing up people and stuff? Because I was signing up people. I was enrolling people, and I don't really know how, but I was. And it wasn't from Instagram. And they were like, oh, we use Instagram. And I was like, I cannot get anybody from Instagram. How crazy is that? Because that's literally where I get everybody from now. But, like,
yeah, wait, pause on that. Like, yeah. How many Christmas points, Christmas cash points? How many do you have right now?
Let me go look, because I just had 2 girls get their 4th customer. So let me see. Hang on.
Okay, I want them to hear, because Instagram is her thing, and like, she's in my triple group, and I'm like, Morgan, what are you freaking doing? So, yeah, I just want to know. I want you to tell them, like, how many Christmas cash points you have.
Bless this internet. It's gonna take me a second. I can keep talking, and then whenever it loads in 8 years, I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so horrible at Instagram, like, just because I gave up too fast. Like, I didn't give it enough time, and I think that's what a lot of people who don't use Instagram do. Mm-hmm. Is like, it takes time, like, and I think it's even more than Facebook, just because Instagram is a lot different. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And the algorithms changed a lot on Instagram since then, so maybe it doesn't take as long. I don't even know. But, so yeah, I wasn't doing Instagram. They kind of told me how to do it. And I started posting more like myself. I started incorporating my own life into my posts. And, I mean, that sounds so basic, but I didn't know that stuff then. And started messaging people, started adding people. And now that's literally where I run my business. Like, that's like how I assign everyone. How many points do I have?
Yeah.
143.
Oh my gosh. 143. I'm over here like, I got 35. Hey.
That's awesome too, though.
No, I know. I'm very proud of my 35, but to hear she has that many points from Instagram, like, that's why I was like, Morgan, I messaged her one day. I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl actually added me back on Facebook. Okay, Morgan, what are you doing? Like, how are you doing this? And when she sent me, scripts are, like, Cindy commented, I love scripts because I never know what to say. Scripts are cool, but make sure you're always being personal, for sure. But I loved hearing your Instagram tips. So yeah, anyway, do you have any more Instagram tips?
So yes. Okay. So, huh?
I said I know you do.
Yeah. So anyway, so I just basically, like, learned how to use Instagram. And so now something that I do on Instagram is on my bio, and I think this is actually kind of an important tip, is I don't have anything about a business or anything about it works. Especially, you can have business in there if you want to, or like, whatever, but I wouldn't put it works, and I wouldn't put a distributor or anything like that. And that's only because when you think, okay, not us, but like, if someone that wasn't in this business just randomly thinks of an It Works distributor, this is the type of profile that may come to their mind, and I'll have to find one because I didn't think about this before. But if they think that you're just gonna spam them with a bunch of just like random crap that they don't care about. And I'm trying to find a good one. Sorry, and I'm like,
you're good. No, you're good. We're just hanging out. You're good, dude.
So. Okay, like this, and I'm going to cover up the name because that's not fair, but they think that it's going to look like this, right? And we don't want our profiles to look like that. And I can sit here and say that because that's what mine used to look like. That's me showing you my old Instagram, basically. And, I mean, they think that you're going to spam them. They think that it's just going to be ads. And they don't want to see another ad. You see ads everywhere. And they want to know that you're being personal. So I make my profile private, which is another huge thing for me. You can do whatever you want to. Again, these are just tips. This isn't like if you're not going to be successful on Instagram if you have it on public. But for me, anytime I've done it on public, I've taken it right back off and done it on private. Just because anytime I get followers, they're like fake accounts, you know, like I can get some from hashtags, but that takes time to do hashtags. And a lot of times, like if you're going to hashtag like boy mom or hashtag twin mom, well, guess who hashtags boy mom and twin moms? Not boy moms and twin moms. It's a bunch of other network marketers from Beachbody and Plexus because they all had the same idea as we did. So if you go to boy moms, you're not going to find anybody to follow. You're going to find other network marketers. That's why I don't think that they're very successful. Like the hashtag thing is not very successful for me, at least. Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing with that. But anyway, so I found what works for me. And if you find what works for you, don't switch it just because you hear some other tips. That's a huge thing too. I think we sometimes look too far left and too far right, and we're just like, oh, I'm going to change this thing when you're doing fine right now. So, so I don't have anything about it. It works on my profile, and it's private. So whenever they see, it went dim as soon as I turned it around. I was like, what is happening? Okay, so that's all you can see whenever I add you is my picture, which you can see my face. It's a close-up. And then you can see my about me. And it doesn't have anything about it works. And it doesn't have like overkill emoji. And it has a link, but it's not my Facebook link. If anybody follows me, which by the way, I don't let any other It Works distributors follow me on Instagram unless I like personally know you, because Instagram's my baby. And I just want to make sure that nobody is doing some sketchy business. But I do, so like if anybody follows me and their profile's on private, but they have a Facebook link, I'm like, that's a It Works distributor. Because it's a dead giveaway because everyone has their Facebook link on their Instagram as a It Works distributor, just about. Because there was a tip going around for a while at one of the cruises that everybody was like, oh my gosh, put your Facebook link. It's such a good idea. And I had that for a while, but then I was like, that's also another, I basically might as well say I'm an It Works distributor because everyone looks at that and they're like, oh, okay. So I have a YouTube link and I've made a YouTube video about my story. And a lot of people go look at it actually because I will message people on Instagram and they'll respond back and be like, oh yeah, I looked at your video that's on your bio. And I was like, you did? Okay. So, I mean, if you've got a story or like if you want to make a video of your story, then you can put it on there and that's a good idea, I guess. And then you want to make it bright and colorful. So obviously not everything is a product picture or me holding a product. I don't like to do the pictures that are just a product sitting on a counter because that doesn't get any likes. People don't care about that and it looks spammy even though it's not an ad. Because people would rather see a picture like this than hair, skin, and nails sitting on the counter, right? Like, I mean, it's just more eye-catching. So if you can take selfies with the products, that's better. Hashtag run your auto shipment. But anyways, so if you're using the products, throw that in there. If you're using the products, it's going to be really easy to talk to people about. And Pick, Tap, Go. Do y'all know about that app? I
do.
Oh my gosh. Use it. Literally best $2 of your entire life, promise.
Yes.
So I'm obsessed with that app because it makes my profile look like this versus really, really dark. Like, I mean, it's just colorful. It's bright. It's crisp. That's what you want your profile to look like. Because does that look like an It Works distributor, very first thing that you look at? No. But if you click on a picture, you'll see that, oh, she has products that she uses. Oh, but she's also a real person with the dog, you know, like it's not spammy. So that's huge because people want to follow someone like that who's got a story, who has a life outside of this company. And then a huge thing that I do are Insta stories. I do Insta stories every single day. And if you don't know, if you're like brand new to Instagram, like just downloaded the app yesterday, Insta stories are these things at the top. They're brand new. And basically it's like a Snapchat, I think. I don't really even use Snapchat, but it's like a Snapchat where you can like click on it and it's like a little short 15-second video. Or you can do pictures or you can do boomerangs. Like, it's pretty cool. And honestly, I get more people from that than I do from any posts. Like, on my posts, sometimes I'll say, you know, text opportunity or text this word to my number or comment that word below. And every now and then I'll get that. But most of the time, it's people coming for my Insta stories. So I'll just kind of show you what my Insta story looks like. And I do random videos about random stuff. And then I also do like pictures of before and afters. And then I'll say swipe up. And if they swipe up, they're going to message me. And so I'll say swipe up and text this word to like, just swipe up and text this word. And then they'll do that. Like, I'll have like a ton of people reply to my Insta stories. And so then I'll get into a conversation with them. So I can show you what I mean too. But I also do like just goofy stuff. Like, I mean, yesterday, Kim, did you see any of my stuff yesterday or like last night?
I don't think yesterday.
Okay. I did.
Haley did.
You need to go back because we did a gingerbread house.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
So I was talking about that on my Instagram story and like all over Facebook and trying to like connect it to, and a lot of people added me on Facebook from my Instagram. So anyways, this is an example. Oh no. Okay, can't do this backwards. I clicked the lock button.
Got tons of stuff to wrap gifts tomorrow. Then we came back to my apartment and we made Christmas cookies and decorated them.
My link.
Decorated Anyways, but it's so crazy how much has changed in just 1 year. This time last year,
so you can add words to that and stuff like that.
Full time doing it works. So earlier this year in March.
Okay, and then I say swipe up.
That's what he loves to do.
Oh.
So things have changed. So.
And then I did like Christmas cookies. Like, so after I talked about basically those videos were me telling my story and saying, you know, like, this is what we did tonight. And this would not have been possible this time last year because this time last year on a Saturday, he would have been at work and I would have been sitting at home alone. And freedom is nice, but it's not nice by yourself. So I wanted to retire him too. And I was able to do that because of this business. And then I didn't have to go into too much detail. I just said decorating Christmas cookies, you know, hanging out and building a fort with pizza and our dog, you know, and like that was part of the live video where he lost a bet and he had to do a snow angel without a shirt on. And then like, I mean, and then just wrapping gifts, like that has nothing to do with it works. Like just go to my life, you know? And then this one I just did about a shake. And then I said, swipe up if you're interested, if you want my discount. So if I swipe up, and this is my friend who also does it work, so I'll just say, like, I mean, you can just send a message, or I can swipe up and type something and send it to her. So anyways, that's something that I do a lot of. And even if they don't respond back, I will say, like, I'll send them a message, kind of like what Kim was talking about. And it's so crazy. They'll be like, I saw you making, like, are you interested in the hair, skin, and nails? They'll be like, no, but I saw you making your shake this morning on your Insta story. They did not respond back to my Insta story. They did not look at my picture that I posted. They did not comment on my picture that I posted. But they said, I saw it on your Insta story, so I want to know about that. And she ordered the shake. So she didn't want hair, skin, and nails, but she ordered the shake. Hello, baby. Anyways, so I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, she saw it on my Insta story. Anytime I'm using the products, I talk about them on the Insta story. And then I'll always try to do, like, random life things in between them. But that's a huge thing for me. I saw somebody ask a question.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd see that. Yeah.
About following people and messaging them.
Yeah.
Like, do you mean like, okay, never mind. I'll ask that later. Okay, so following people. Basically, I'll go to my, my like search thing. So like, oh gosh. This thing right here, it's your explore page, and that used to be just like only like celebrities or whatever, but now it's based on people that you like, and it's specially picked out for you based on the type of pictures that you like, and it will show you random like public profiles. And so like this one right here, okay, this is like a really normal girl. She's not like with another network marketing company that you can see right off the bat, but look how many likes that picture has.
Yeah.
Where's my, there it is. All right, so I'm going to go to her profile, very normal girl, not with another network marketing company. She has a lot of followers. So I'm going to go to her second picture because the second picture is special. Because if you go to their first one, it's going to be so recent that it's not going to have as many likes. But if you go too far down, it could be too long ago, and those people cannot be active on Instagram anymore. So I always go to the second picture, which, it has more likes. So I will go and click on those, and I will just go down and I will start liking people stuff, or following people, And I don't follow guys, so I only follow girls. And I'll just do that until I get blocked. And I think you can basically only follow like 50 at a time, and I know that's like been changing back and forth. But so I usually do like every hour, like whenever I think about it. And I'll just follow people that way. There's also an app, and I don't know how detailed you want me to get about this, but this is going to change your life. So this app is called Captivate. That one. Oh no, I clicked on the one below it. Captivate, the little rainbow one. So if you go to Captivate, let me go back to Instagram. This girl's name. Okay, nobody steal her, okay? Mary Margaret 14. So you're going to go to Captivate, and it's going to show your Discover page. Okay? So I'm going to go to search down here at the bottom. Well, you can't see it anymore. It's fine. Just go to search. Mary Margaret. How do you spell Margaret?
Margaret.
Okay.
Usually MAR.
14? Where you at, girl? Here she is. Okay. So I can find her profile on Captivate. That's her first picture. There's that second picture. I can click on the likes. That was the comment. Sorry, I can't do this not looking. Okay. So I see all the likes, and it's got to load them all. But up here at the top, I think it'll say, well, I'll just wait a second and show you. But basically, you can copy people's followers this way, which is or the people that like the post, which is what I was going to do anyways. But this is something that you can run in background mode on your phone while you're doing other things, or like night mode while you're asleep. It can be following people for you. So you can do quick select all, actions, follow. And then it will follow everyone for you, but I'm going to unclick all these little boys because I do not want to follow them. And a lot of times it does follow boys, but then if they request to follow me back, I'll accept it, then unfollow them. And then sometimes they get a little salty about that because they care way too much about who follows them and unfollows them on Facebook or Instagram. Anyway, so that's how I follow people. And I like to handpick the profiles because, like, yes, the app does a lot for me, but I handpicked who I wanted to follow based on who I have, like, similarities with. Like, she has a dog, I have a dog. Okay, that's enough for me to follow her. So let's see. Then to message people, I showed Kim the message that I usually send people, or just kind of like, I'll just ask them like, hey, I saw your profile, and I'll give them an honest compliment and say, I was just curious if you'd be interested in being a product tester for me. You get a major discount for helping me out. And a lot of times they'll be like, oh my gosh, this is the sweetest message ever. This just made my day. Like, what's being a product tester? Like, how do I do it? Or I'd love to help you out. How do I do it? And some people don't respond, and some people say no, but thank you for the opportunity. If somebody says no, thank you, or no, but thank you for the opportunity, or I'm so sorry, but I can't, then I'll just say, that's fine. Thank you so much for your time. And a lot of times they'll come back to me because I started that conversation, or they'll say like, you're welcome. Well, what is it? Like, just because I responded to them. So don't just not respond because they said no. A lot of times they'll come back and say yes, just because you took that extra little bit of time to say like, oh, don't be sorry. Like, no problem. Have a great day. So be personal with people. But yeah, so, I just message people and see, like this girl, doesn't have anything to do with it works, but she's one of my customers who I desperately want to be a distributor. And she saw my post, my Insta story, and then whenever they reply, it looks like this. So she replied to it and talks about like our grandmas have the same plate set. Okay, so like we're building a relationship because she sees I'm a real person on my Insta story, and like we talk all the time about random stuff. So I know she'll be a distributor one day because of that. So even if you've already got customers, those are my best distributors, are people who are customers that become distributors. And Insta stories are a really easy way for me to keep in contact with them and connect with them because they feel like they know me more because of that. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, that was kind of long, but that's kind of how I work Instagram.
No, I wanted the nitty gritty because I know that, you know, someone just commented, I don't think I'll ever get the hang of Instagram. That's okay. There are so many people on here though that have asked me so many questions about Instagram, and I'm like, that's what we're going to have them working on for. Cause I love having the other, like having options. Cause I can talk all day about Facebook Live and some people are like, yeah, not for me. And so having that other, I can't talk about Instagram. You know, you just taught me so many things. I didn't know you could swipe up to message. I didn't know that that's how you use that app, you know, that follows people for you. And I didn't know how you gained followers. So I'm really glad Paige asked that because that's hard for me too. I can add people on Facebook like it's nobody's business. I have a kind of like you do, I do on Facebook, but I didn't know how to do that on Instagram. So like I just learned something. And she's right. You know, she said it a long time ago and I've said it too. You know, my strong points are blitzing, Facebook, and parties. That does not mean I'm going to quit those things to start Instagram. That just means that I love that since I have those things down pat, I'm going to spend like 10%, 20% of my time on Instagram. I'm going to try that because I do want to be Black Diamond. So I am willing to go that next step. And that's a whole lot of people. Instagram is a lot of people. And when you can find those real profiles like she was just talking about, the engagement is crazy. So I used to use.
And it's crazy too, like how many, because I always have like a weekly party and I'll be talking to somebody on Instagram and I'm like, hey, I want to invite you to my online party tonight. Would that be okay? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, hey, add me on Facebook. They're like, oh, I don't have a Facebook. There are so many people now our age that have, or, you know, like that don't have Facebook, but they do have Instagram and vice versa. Like there's some people that don't have Instagram, but they have Facebook, you know? And so there's just, if you're only doing Instagram, you're missing out on so much. And you're missing out on the grandmas that you see in the grocery store that probably don't have either. Or people like my mother who don't know how to do any of that. We would have missed her, you know, like because she does not know how to do that, bless her heart. So, we have to be able to do a little bit of everything, but spend 90% of your time doing what you're really good at. And so the other 10%, trying to do all the other things too. Like I've done parties. That's not how I build my business, but I've done them. I post on Facebook. I message on Facebook, but that's not how I build my business. You know, I don't really do events, but I've done, like I've handed out goodie bags. I've handed out stuff like sample bags and I've blitzed, you know, I do all those things, but I primarily build my business and my gift, I guess, is Instagram. So just I don't want anybody to get off this Zoom feeling overwhelmed like I have to do Instagram.
Right.
Like I just don't want that because whatever you're doing that's working, keep doing that. And if what you're doing is not working, try Instagram if you aren't doing that yet.
And I love that. And like you said, for me, I started my business with 500 friends on Facebook. Now I'm almost to 5,000. So knowing that that's where it caps off. But if you go to Instagram, it's whatever. As many
7,500.
Oh, okay.
Well, you can have unlimited followers, but I can only follow 7,500.
Okay, good to know. But that's what I was saying is like you have 12K followers? Like you can have more friends. I mean, it's not friends, but followers. Yeah. What?
And I had 9,000 before I started using Captivate. That's why I said it changed my life. Just saying.
Oh,
3,000 followers since I started using that app.
Wow. I need to get, yep. And so like my strong points are those things. And so I am getting a little bit more into Instagram. So like she said, don't get off this Zoom. Like, okay, I want to be triple. I got to do Instagram. No, I'm triple and I do Facebook and that's pretty much it. So like you can do, again, guys, work with what works for you. But I'm so excited to dabble a little bit more with Instagram. And I have signed some people up from it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this actually works. So, I just love that there's a lot of people out there on Instagram. So, I mean, I think that's pretty much all, that I was going to ask you. Do you have anything that you want to add at all?
If y'all have questions too, like just, you can leave them in the chat if you want. So, I don't want to like miss anybody else's questions if you like didn't want to ask it. Besides like just doing whatever you're good at and spending time doing that, I don't know.
I mean, you always have these like amazing get over yourself. Like at that training, you have
Are
great.
you wanting to get over yourself?
I was gonna say if you have anything, go for it. I just know that you have so many. You speak very well. Let's see what else. I'm trying. If you guys have questions, post them in the comments. But I'm trying to think of anything else.
So
Yeah.
maybe post on the chat, because I mean, I could talk a lot about getting over yourself. Post in the chat something that you feel like you're struggling with right now. Like maybe like just like if you're struggling with your mindset, but be a little bit more specific. You feel like you're struggling with like signing people. You feel like you're struggling as a leader. You feel like you're struggling like whatever. So
yes, I like that idea. Post something that you're struggling with, and then Kaylee has a good question. Can I ask it?
Yeah.
You ready for it? Okay.
Oh, wait. What did I do differently to go double and triple?
Yeah. Well, I guess it would be diamond. Didn't you go double, triple pretty quick? No, yeah.
So are you saying like what did I do to I think she's saying like what did I do differently like from sitting at diamond for a while to promoting to double, boom, triple?
Yes. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's what she meant. Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be a get over yourself tip actually.
Perfect.
So, whenever I was a ruby, it was a little bit different than whenever I was a diamond because, I mean, either way, like I was working and putting in the effort has never, ever been a problem for me. I've never been like, really need somebody to kick me in the butt a little bit, so I'll post a little bit more, ever. But there's so much more to being at a top rank than posting or having a good work ethic. You know, there's like more to that, especially whenever you get into the ranks like diamond and even beyond that, going to double and triple. So whenever I was a diamond, and this is just me being super real and raw with y'all, so no judgment, right? All God's children. Do y'all know that maybe? Okay. Anyways, so I went diamond, and that was kind of at the time like the biggest goal that I had. That was just like, I don't know, like I was in heaven whenever I went diamond. I was like making more than I was ever making before because I was making really good diamond money, like really good. And I was like, I've never had this kind of money before. Like, this is awesome. And, you know, I've quit my jobs. I'm good. Like, I could never promote again and I'd be fine. What I wasn't thinking about, though, with my stupid little 21-year-old self was all the credit card debt that I had racked up whenever I was broke as a joke. So I did have other things that I needed to do, and I wasn't going to be able to do that going diamond, or it would have taken me a lot longer. So I sat at diamond for a year because I looked at my team whenever I had promoted, and basically a couple things happened. One, I didn't believe that I could really go double. I did not believe it, and that was why I sat there for so long, because I didn't believe that I could do it. I was looking at myself at diamond, and I was like, this is probably as good as it's ever going to get, and that's fine, but like I just kind of accepted it instead of dreaming bigger. I didn't have goals of why I needed to get to double diamond. I just got comfortable, and I looked at everybody that was on my chart, and like I said, I didn't really have a lot of people on my team who were actually, you know, really working with me. But like the couple who were, you know, 400 boxes or executives or whatever. And they would come to me and they would ask me questions, you know, basically begging for me to lead them and to help them and for me to be a leader. And I basically, without saying it, and I didn't even realize it until somebody was asking me, and I keep getting asked this question. So I've thought about it a lot. So now I realize that I was basically just kind of like looking at them and being like, okay, like I'll do the bare minimum to help you to answer the question that you have, because I won't leave you hanging. But like, I'm not really going to fight for you because I don't really need you to be anything more than an executive for my chart, you know? And like, that was so selfish. And obviously, like, I'd never say that. None of us would ever say that, but maybe we've all been there before. If you have somebody on your team, like maybe you've looked at them and been like, I'm just tired. Like, I really only need you to go Ruby for me to promote again. So I really don't, like, you're already Ruby. Like, I really don't want to help you with your Emerald chart or whatever it may be. And that sounds horrible, but that's just me being real and honest with you. Like, that was kind of the place that I was in, instead of looking at everyone on my chart and saying, let's get to the next rank. And if I had done that, I think I would have gone double a lot faster. Thankfully, I didn't, and that was a really good, like, learning season. So instead of sitting, if you've been sitting in a rank, don't use that time to be like, why is this happening? Like, what the heck? Like, what is wrong? Like, why am I not promoting? Keep asking why. Use that time to ask what. What am I supposed to be learning in this season? What does God want to teach me? What can I do to be a better leader in the next season, like going into the next season? So if I had gone double during that time where I sat at Diamond, gosh, it would have been awful, you know? But because I didn't, and I learned a lot during that year, whenever I went double, I learned to look at everyone on my chart as a future Diamond. Okay, well, you're an executive, and I really don't need you to be anything more than that, but let's get you to Diamond because it's you. It's about you. It's not about me. It's not about, like, you didn't join this business for me. You joined this business for yourself, and I want to help you and come behind you in those goals. And so when I started doing that, all the rubies that were on my double diamond chart that I was looking at as diamonds did promote to diamond 2 months later, and boom, I went triple. Like, that's what started happening whenever I stopped making it about me and I started making it about them. And even though I was tired, I'm going to help you with your chart. Even though I don't need you to promote again, we're going to get you another promotion because this isn't about me. I'm not going to be a leader that's going to be like, oh, well, I don't need you to do, like, I was a horrible leader at the time, and I didn't realize it. But I had a huge wake-up call at conference, and I didn't even really put it into words until recently. But, yeah, I mean, that was the biggest difference. I stopped making it all about myself, which is hard to do.
And that's true. Once you stop making it all about you, you'll start seeing so much more happen beneath you. So I love that. And then, let's see. Okay, so Paige, she says, by the way, Paige, I didn't know you had 2,000 followers. What in the world? That's awesome. Getting over messaging my followers on Instagram. I have over 2K followers, but I'm scared to be spammy. But then again, I need customers, if that makes sense. Yeah, it does. So, yeah.
So the thing you have to think about is that Instagram is very, very different than Facebook. Mm-hmm. People aren't going to think that you're spammy if you message them pretty quickly after you become followers, like on Instagram. With Facebook, if you don't like know their mama's brother, sister's cousin and like have met them at like 8 birthday parties, they're gonna be like, why are you messaging me? And so like you have to build such a relationship with them on Facebook, which is great because obviously we want to be friends with everybody, but like, bro, I can't wait 8 years to ask you if you want to be a customer. Like, come on, let's do this. So that's why I like Instagram, because I can message them pretty quickly afterwards and it's not weird. Like Instagram is not nearly as personal as Facebook. So they're not going to be like, what are you doing? They're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is the sweetest message I've ever gotten. Thank you, just made my day. How do I be a tester? And I'm like, oh yeah, this is like what you do. They don't think of it that way. And a lot of it too, like I said, has to do with your profile. And obviously you don't like follow them, boom, like all their stuff, boom, message them. Like that would be weird, no matter what. But like if you're following them for a couple of days, you've been doing Insta stories, guess what? They're watching your Insta stories, and you can see who watches your Insta stories by like sliding up on your own story. So like they're watching your stuff. So it's not like they're going to feel like they know you, even though you've never talked to them or built a relationship with them before. So don't message people with the mindset of like, oh, I hope I'm not spamming them. Message them with the mindset of, I have products that I cannot keep my mouth shut about, and I have to share this with people because they really need this. And I know for me, it's really easy to do that because I mean, the greens took me off of the heart medication that I was on from the thing I told y'all about way earlier that I was diagnosed with. Like, I'm not on prescription medication anymore. I just use these products. Not that I've, whatever. Like, it is something that you can outgrow, but I think that I've outgrown it because of these products. So I always think about that whenever I talk to people. It's like, people are desperate and like, you don't even know like what they're going through. They need these products. They need this business. So I'd be selfish not to share with them. And with that mindset, you're going to be like, ooh, I'm about to miss it. Like, you're going to be so excited. Mm-hmm. And it's just a totally different mindset.
Yep. And I just literally, yeah. I just don't care. Like, I just don't care. You know what people think. So I'm just like, I'm going to message them. And if they don't like me, that's okay. But if they don't like it, that's okay. And then, so I love that. And then the last thing we'll go with is Sam. So how can you lead? But how can you lead them without doing the work for them and beating a dead horse? Because people say they want it all the time, but saying and doing are two different things. So I love this subject. Go, Morgan.
Ooh. So I still feel like I fail a lot as a leader. And that's something that I've been struggling with like lately, just feeling like a crappy leader. But something that I've really been thinking about and sharing with my leaders is, one, leadership is not defined by rank. I can have someone who's, quadruple black diamond on my team. Well, that doesn't really count, because if you're that, you would be a leader. But like, you can have someone that's like the same rank as you on your team, and they're not a leader. Maybe they got there because they have really strong leaders underneath them, but they're not a leader themselves. So leadership's not defined by rank. I've got distributor ranks people on my team who are leaders, like rock stars. So one, don't look at a leader as like, okay, well, they're this rank, so they have to lead, they have to be a leader, because that's not true. Sometimes they go into that rank and they're not ready to be at that rank. So look at their actions. Don't look at their words. Don't look at, the lifetime rank on their E-suite. Look at who they are as a person, what they're doing, and their efforts. Because I've got people on my team who are, higher ranks, like, higher ranks for people on my team, and they don't do jack squat. But I've got people underneath them who are leaders, who are being on our Zooms every week. That's a leader. They're posting consistently. That's a leader. Think about like qualities that it takes to make a leader, and be sure that you're taking that into consideration whenever you're talking about like leaders on my team. It's not all the rubies on my team. It's the people that are distributors who just joined, but they just got their first 4 customers, and they've been on every Zoom for the last 2 weeks, and they're reaching out to me every single day, and they've been posting consistently. That to me is a leader. So I think it's really important for us to remember that when we're looking at our team, is like, who is a leader? And then whenever we're talking about, being a leader, well, we have to follow a leader, right? Like, we have to model ourselves after a leader. And so for me, I love the Lord, and He is the best leader that there ever was. So I always model everything that I want to do as a leader after Him, because He's the best model of a leader. So a couple things that He shows us is, one, He's a servant leader. He serves people that He is leading. He doesn't lead them by being like, okay, you have to follow me, like all this stuff. Like, He gives those people free will. And this is what I was talking to my team about the other day, my diamonds. And I said, look, you have people on your team who you're going to be frustrated with, because they say that they want this and then they don't work. They're going to say that, like all these different things that they're going to say, and they're going to, the people on your team, they might quit. They may just stop working. They may stop messaging you back randomly. They may join and not do anything. But that doesn't mean that that's because you did anything wrong. And I think that's like the very first thing that we do is blame ourselves. Like, crap, like if I had just done this one thing, like they wouldn't have stopped working, like if I could just do this one thing differently, then that would get them to start working, right? That's putting way too much pressure and responsibility on yourself, because here's the thing, and this is what I told them, like, God is perfect and we're not. So this is not going to be the perfect analogy, but when someone comes to know the Lord, you're going to have people who come to know the Lord and they don't really do anything about their faith. They don't make disciples. They don't share the gospel with people. They don't help the poor. They don't give, all this stuff. And they just kind of like say that they're a Christian, but they don't really do anything about it, right? Does that mean that God is sitting up in heaven like, crap, maybe I should have just done this like one thing different? They would have been a great follower, like, no. He's like, I did everything that I should be doing, and now this is only if you are being a good leader. Because if you're like me when I was a diamond, like, get over yourself and be a good leader, first of all. But if you are, pouring into your team, you're doing all the things that you feel like you could be doing, like, crap, like I cannot do anything else, then just remember that, like, God gives us free will, and, like, He's not going to force His leadership upon us. Like, we have the ability to say, you know what, I'm going to let you lead me. I'm going to let you be the Lord over my life and stuff. So it's the same way with the people in this business. Like, they're either going to let us lead them, and they're going to follow us, and they're going to listen to our teaching, and they're going to do what, they should be doing as a networks distributor. They say that they're those things, but the fruits of their work show that they're a networks distributor. Same thing with other people in their faith, and like, just because they're not following you doesn't mean that there's something that you should have done differently necessarily. So leading people does not mean pulling them along. It means showing them how to do it and then letting them decide if they want to do it or not. And they will either decide that they want to or they'll decide that they don't. And if people on your team right now have all decided that they don't want this, and you need new blood, and you've got to keep signing up new distributors, because guess what? They're out there. It's like a deck of cards. You have all those cards, right? Like you've got aces, jacks, kings, tens, nines, whatever. You have them all on a deck and they're all face down. Well, every time you sign a distributor, you pull a card off the top and you look at it. Sometimes it may be a 2. That's a distributor who joins and literally never messages you back. Okay, next one. Maybe it's a jack and they join and they go ruby and they're good at ruby and that's all they really need and that's life-changing for them and they're good there. Then you flip it over and it's an ace. Boom, they go diamond. You know, they're one of your rock stars that help you go ambassador. And the thing is that all of your aces, there's 4 of them, maybe all at the top of your stack. They may all be the last 4 cards. They may be all shuffled in the middle. They may be back to back to back, but you'll never find them if you don't keep flipping over a card. So you have to keep getting new blood and signing up new distributors. And if you do, you'll eventually find your aces that are going to take you to the top, that you won't have to pull to lead. Like they'll want to do this, but you're going to show them how, and then they're going to choose like, yeah, I want to do this, and they're going to do it. Just remember that you didn't have to get pulled along to do this.
Mm-hmm. That was so freaking good. I've never, ever heard it explained like that, obviously. That was so good. And it's such a clear example to me. I'm not saying this in a bragging moment. I'm saying this in just like, okay, obviously it can happen. When I got started, you know, my best friend at the time signed me up and I was like, I am so excited. I am so excited. He never once promoted. I am triple diamond. He never once showed up to anything, and I'm triple diamond. He never once showed me how to chart. He never once showed me how to do anything. And I still went for it and did it. And I remember him saying, are you really going to be Ruby? And I'm like, yes. He's like, how did you even figure that out? I'm like, our E-Suite. Like, I don't need you, bro. I don't need you. I love you, but I don't need you because I want this so bad, and I see what it can do for me. And I've talked to enough people. I didn't even really follow what Courtney was doing at the time, you know, my upline. I never followed Jen at first. Like, I never knew what they were doing. And so it was getting to that first event for me that kind of triggered things. I was like, oh, yes, okay, this is real life. So, yes, Kaylee said she's going to think about those cards every day. I'm going to think of your analogy with Christians. Like, that's so freaking true. So I love that. And just that was worded perfectly. So I think that's all we've got for you, and I can't tell you how much we appreciate you hopping on and just pouring into us with all your awesome knowledge, girlfriend.
Sorry, this was so long.
No, Kaylee's like, no, yeah, I love, this was good stuff. This was good stuff. It wasn't long. So we appreciate you, and I've got it recorded, so if my team needs to watch it later, they can, but
yay!
thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it.